So, shall we take a look at your accessory nerve now? Great. So, as you know, this is cranial nerve 11 out of 12. So, not much more to go. We're almost done with the exam, so just sit tight and relax. You've been doing great all this time. And, yeah, just a few more tests to go. So, before we begin the testing, I want to tell you a little bit about the accessory nerve so that you know what we're dealing with. And the accessory nerve, the cranial nerve 11, is actually quite interesting. It is, in fact, the only cranial nerve which has its origin outside of the brainstem, outside of the cranium, the skull. And, well, you might ask then, why is it even part of the 12 cranial nerves if it's not in the cranium? Well, it is and it isn't. So there are two components to the accessory nerve. The spinal component, the spinal accessory nerve, and the cranial component, the cranial accessory nerve. And the cranial nerve, the cranial accessory nerve, does originate in the brainstem and the medulla oblongata, same place as the vagus nerve, which we just examined. And in fact, it innervates many of the same muscles as the vagus nerve, the larynx, the pharynx, the soft palate, helping your body, your mouth, swallow, and speak primarily. So that's the cranial part of the accessory nerve. But there's also another part, like I said, the spinal component, the spinal accessory nerve, and that originates outside of the cranium, down here at the first 5 or 6 cervical vertebrae in the spine. Here there are a bunch of nerve rootlets and nerve fibers. They travel up along the spine and they enter the skull via the foramen magnum. I can actually show that just a moment. The skull here. Of course, here we have the cranium, and beneath we have various openings for the cranium. The large part here, that's actually the foramen magnum. Magnum meaning large, so it's quite obvious this is the biggest opening into the skull. And, you know, it makes sense. This is where the spine goes, so this is where the spinal accessory nerve comes out. And it travels up, ascends through the spine and into the skull, the brainstem, the medulla, where it meets the cranial part of the nerve, of the cranial accessory nerve. Then they travel down through the jugular foramen. That's these holes here and over here. So 2 smaller holes in the skull at the base of the skull. And, well, like I said, the cranial accessory nerve travels along with the vagus nerve along the same channels and into the mouth. So, put you back in place. There we go. Now, that's just a little fun part there. It's been sitting at my desk so long, I probably should have shown it to you earlier, but there you have it. Foramen magnum. If you've learned nothing else, then you at least know there's a giant hole in the skull where the spine goes. So, that's interesting. So, what does the accessory nerve even do? Well, I talked about the cranial part, or the cranial component, that innervates the same kind of muscles as the vagus nerve. The spinal component, though, it has 2 primary functions, or 2 muscles. It innervates. There is the sternocleidomastoid muscle, which is the muscle in our neck that helps us turn our head from side to side and up and down, and then the trapezius muscle, which helps us shrug our shoulders. So damage to the accessory nerve can cause neck pain, shoulder muscle pain in that area. Because if there is damage and either the trapezius or the sternocleidomastoid muscles stop working or fail to work optimally, then other muscles in the same area may try to compensate and take over some of those functions, even though they're not really used to it and built for it. So that can cause some pain. So let me just start by asking if you've been feeling any pain at all in your shoulder area, at either left or right or both, in your neck, on either side, on the back. Nothing at all. Okay, well, let me just take a closer look here at your shoulders and your neck. So, is it alright if I touch your neck and your shoulders? Thank you. Just want to palpate just ever so lightly. Just up and down. Just assessing the bulk and tone of the muscle. And there, feeling along the sternocleidomastoid muscle. On your neck. It's good. Okay, any pain or a touch? Okay, good. If there is any pain, just let me know as usual. Okay. Okay, check the other side here. Feeling along the muscle here in the neck. Okay, any pain? Good, good, good. Okay. Okay, just grip your shoulders here. Just relax, just relax. We'll get to the exercises in a bit. Right now I just want to assess the muscles up here. Let me just check the back as well. That's good. And the other side. That feels good and healthy. And I'm just assessing the scapula here at the back. Doesn't seem like there's any unnatural protrusion of anything. A winged scapula. So that was all great. Okay, so let's do just a few very, very easy tests. Well, should be easy if there are no nerve damages to the accessory nerve. So, first things first, can I ask you to raise your shoulders up like this? And I'm going to place my hands on your shoulders and try to raise them again. Don't let me push you down, okay? Raise, 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 and resist. Resist, really resist my touch. Resist, really resist my touch and my pressure, okay? Resist, resist, resist. Okay, that's great. You can relax. You can relax, okay? Shake your shoulders. That's great. Okay, now raise. Just this shoulder here. That. Very good. And raise the other shoulder here. Like that. Great. Okay, I'm going to put one hand here. Try to raise this shoulder here. That's great. And now this shoulder here. Try to raise it. Very good. Now, same thing on the other side. Raise this shoulder here. Good. And now raise it over here. Very good. Very good. Okay. Just sit back. Now, take your arms straight out in front of you and lift them up. Straight up in the air. Don't bend your arms, just lift them straight up as high as you can. Okay? Yes, that looks good. Any pain with that? Okay, good. You can lower your arms again. Good, like that. Okay, now let me move it back for the next part. Okay, so I want you to just sit quietly and comfortably and relaxed in your chair with your arms bent at the elbows, your hands in your lap. Okay, just like that. Okay, then take your hand, bend it out to the side like so. Okay, and then try lift it up like this. And I'll just feel along your forearm while you do that. Okay, try and lift it. Okay, just lift it up, don't let me push you down. Great. Okay, now bend it to the side. And then move it inwards like that, okay? And I'm just feeling along the muscles here. Okay, bend it inwards. Don't let me push you away. Very good. Okay, stretch and bend again. Inwards and resist. That's good. Okay, relax that arm. Now do the other arm first. Move it outwards like so. Okay, and I'll just feel along here and try to resist a little bit. Put some pressure there. Bend upwards. That's great. Okay. Now try to bend up again and again. Don't let me push you down. Just resist. Okay, so that's great. I want to check the reflexes of your arms. So for that, I have this small reflex hammer that we've been using previously. I'm going to just tap very lightly on different places along your shoulder, your elbow, and your wrist. Okay? Okay. So again, just sit relaxed with your arms, or your hands rather, in your lap. Okay? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to tap right here along the upper bicep. Okay, that's good. Move down here, the elbow. Good. And the wrist down here. Very good. Okay, we're going to do the other side here. Upper bicep, shoulder. Good. Long down to the elbow. That's good. And now the wrist here. Good. 7, 5, 6. All working properly. So that's great. So another test I'd like you to do is just try to roll your shoulders forward. Okay, like this. Very good. Now try to reverse the motion and roll them backwards. Like so. That's very good. Okay, now raise one shoulder and lower your head at the same time towards the shoulder. And now do the other one over here, like that. Okay, any pain with that at all? side, if I could ask you to turn your head this way, and I'm just feeling the sternocleidomastoid muscle flexing when you do that. So when you're moving your head this way, it activates this muscle, and when you look that way, it activates over here. Okay, so if we saw any difficulty in moving your head one way or the other, that would indicate damage to the contralateral side, contralateral accessory nerve. So we know there are pairs of nerve and pairs of muscles here in the neck. On the other hand, failure to, for example, lift one shoulder, that indicates that the accessory nerve on this side is damaged. Okay. Of course, it can be damaged on one side, the other side, or both. Typically, if the problem is further up. But the accessory nerve is one of the cranial nerves and spinal nerves that is actually quite often exposed to damage in physical sports like football or soccer, any other sport where there's physical contact between people, martial arts, combat sports, etc. Lots of things can cause damage to the accessory nerve and cause difficulty, raising the arm, raising the shoulders, turning the head, and just causing general pain. And that can be caused by lots of different things. It doesn't have to be nerve damage, but it can be. So, figuring that out can sometimes be a bit of a challenge. And that's why, people can go to all sorts of medical professional physiotherapists, chiropractors, massage therapists to try to alleviate pain or cure problems or illnesses related to the muscles, the trapezius and the sternocleidomastoid. And sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't, and then you have to, get a doctor to check you out because you may have accessory nerve damage. Okay, but on the face of it, it doesn't look like there's no indication of any nerve damage so far on you. I do want to check a few more things related to the sternocleidomastoid muscle of the neck. Okay, so I'm just going to place my hand here, and then I'm going to ask you to turn your head towards my hand against the resistance. Okay, don't let me push you, just turn the head. Turn the head, try to turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it. That's good, and you can relax. Okay, any pain or discomfort there? Okay, good. No, it felt strong, it felt ugly. Okay, I'm going to try the same thing on the other side here. Okay, turn your head towards my hand. Okay, turn, and don't let me push you, Okay, that's great. Okay, so that muscle seems to be functioning properly. Can I ask you to just look down for me? Down into the ground. That's right, and look up into the ceiling. Okay, any pain with that at all? Okay, good. Now just stare straight ahead. Okay, I'm going to put my hand on top of your head, like so, and I'm just going to push down using just a bit of force there. Any pain when I push down on your face? Can you feel any tension in your neck or your shoulders when I push here? No? Okay, no troubles there. It doesn't hurt or anything? Okay, that's good. So that was the cervical spine compression test, but since you did not experience any pain and you responded well to all the exercises, it doesn't seem like there are any problems with your accessory nerve, either the spinal component, which is what we've mainly been testing, or the cranial component, which we went through when we checked your vagus nerve. So, good job on that. Now, like I said, that was the 11th cranial nerve. That means there's just one more nerve to go. So, you're almost through, you're almost done. And so far, I've seen nothing at all to worry about. So, with that, I will bid you good night and take care of yourself.